I am Katie Bergani Sexton and I am from Colchester, Vermont. I lost my brother Greg to sudden unexpected death in epilepsy patients, also known as SUDEP. I have two older brothers, Chris and Greg, and we were blessed to have two amazing parents, Linda and Alan. We're a very close-knit family, and we were always at my grandparents' house, helping with the farm, picking blueberries. My mom was always baking us cookies. My grandma always baked donuts. It was just a very homey, loving family. Chris was always more of our parent, teaching us right from wrong, while Greg was the practical jokester, and he was always the life of the party. He liked to keep everybody laughing. If I had a bad day, he would say, "Let's go out to eat." He would say it was my birthday, and then they'd sing to me. He'd be like, "No, it's not really your birthday." Thank you, Greg. Thank you. He would just do anything to make anyone laugh. He loved to play sports, hang out with his friends, and he just always was there for anybody. He loved helping people and did so by becoming a volunteer firefighter. At the age of 16, Greg had his first tonic-clonic seizure. I wasn't home. My dad and Chris were home with him, and he was downstairs playing baseball on the PlayStation. And they heard a boom, and my dad went downstairs and saw Greg seizing. So Chris called 911, and the ambulance came. They took him to the hospital, and they said that they weren't really alarmed by it because it was just one, and it could have just been something triggered it, and it was just like one of those things that just happened. So 10 days later, when he had a second, they put him through all the testing and EEG, and then they diagnosed him with epilepsy. They really didn't say much. They just said, if they more talked to my mom and dad that if he goes down, make sure there's nothing he can hurt himself on, They said don't put anything in his mouth, keep him on his side. We're going to put him on these medicines. In a year, it might heal it and make him all better, or he might have another seizure. We don't know. And all Greg heard was, in a year I can go off them and I'll be seizure free. And then as soon as he could get off it, he was all about it because he just wanted it to be done because he was so private about it and hated dealing with it. He didn't like having it. I feel like he was so embarrassed and just felt like something was wrong with him. And then after they took him off, he started having more, but he didn't want to go back on the meds. It was one of those battles. I saw him have the first one after he was taken off his meds. We were getting ready to go to school. He was a senior, I was a freshman. And he was in the bathroom brushing his teeth, and we heard a boom, and my mom looked at me, and I was like, oh my God, he's having a seizure. So my dad had to break the door down, and when we got in there, he was right next to the bathtub seizing, so we had to try and pull him away so he didn't hurt himself. January 11th rolled around, and it was a beautiful winter day. The day before, we were at my grandfather's for his surprise birthday party, and everything seemed normal. Greg was fine. He, my cousin Ryan, and I were all hanging out. We were picking on each other. It was just a normal day for him. And then we went home, and he was pestering me. My mom was telling him to go back in his room, stop pushing my bedroom door open, leave me alone. He got some pizza and went back down at around 9:30. And then the next morning I woke up at 8:06 and I heard my mom yelling, "Greg, wake up. Greg, wake up. You had a seizure. It's okay. You could wake up now." And he never did. That morning at 2:06 a.m., Greg had his last seizure. I went back upstairs, called 911, and when the medical examiner and the paramedics arrived, they confirmed what we already knew, that Greg was gone. I wish we knew about SUDEP, because I wish Greg had that opportunity, because now we know about it and now we can help other families, but he still never had that chance. And I feel like he missed out on so much in his life. He never got to get married, have kids. Did he want to go skydiving? All these things that you say, I have a whole life to do, he didn't. And if he knew this, maybe he would have done them. About 3 months after Greg died, I started researching epilepsy and SUDEP more, and then I came across the Epilepsy Foundation of Vermont, and I went and met with Audrey, and she came to my house, and she was so awesome, and she just talked to us about all the different events that they do, and my 5 uncles, a couple of my cousins, and I did the mud volleyball, and that was interesting, getting all them in the mud. Our hope by telling Greg's story is to help raise awareness and save other families from losing the ones that they love. 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy at some time in their life. Each year, more than 1 out of 1,000 people with epilepsy die from SUDEP. Visit epilepsyvt.org or gregsjourney.org for more information.